Hello again. Today we're going to tie this early season midge. As the name suggests, it's a great little pattern for early spring when the midges are starting to hatch and starting to come out. So without waffling on too much, which we all know I find very difficult, we'll get on and tie this one. So I'll explain all the materials as I go. So in the vise, this is a long shank heavyweight style hook, and it's actually in a size 10. I don't normally tie sort of buzzers or midges this big actually, but this one seems to really work well in this size. Thread is UTC Ultra, and it's 70, and it's in black. It's a nice flat thread this is. So we're going to start a little ways behind the eye, probably half an eye width, and I'm going to come down just a few turns and get rid of my waist, and I'm just going to tie in a bit of white wool. This is literally just white wool. So I'm going to tie this, going to come back to them, I want to keep a good space in front of the eye to make sure I've got enough space to tie in, which I have. I'm going to come in with an angled cut, which will give me a tapered body, and just take that waist away. Wax a thread, trying to keep the wool on the top. Come down. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Be all right. Right, now I'm going to tie in. This is some uni mylar, and it's just a clear. It's just a clear mylar. Size is 14. It's good stuff actually. I use it for loads of different things. Essentially, it's just a piece of thin black plastic. So I'm going to catch it on. I'm going to come down round that bend just a tad. Not a lot, just a tad. And now I'm going to tie in some black pheasant tail. It's just pheasant tail dyed back. Going to take a pinch. We're going to catch it on. We're going to run the thread up, tying in that plastic mylar wrap and tying in the pheasant tail as we go. Now this is short, so it can be tricky, but we're going to wind this pheasant tail the other way than I wind the thread. And just be careful, because it is a very short piece. When you get up by the thorax, we're going to catch it. We're going to do turn over it, turn on the hook. Like we always do when we wind fibres towards us, we do a turn over the material and then a turn on the hook. And I do that 3 times, and that really locks it in. Really locks it in. We're just going to trim that, and then winding the normal way with our clear wrap, with our mylar. Just rivet. Gives a really nice glassy look to the fly. Just try and make them nice and equal. I'm just going to hold it there because, as usual, I've tied it too short. Tie that off. Just come up a little ways. Whoops. Come up a little ways. Pull it back. Get your wool out your way. The reason I've left the wool long is so I can grab hold of it. You'll see where that is an advantage in a moment. Now I'm going to come in, and this is just a sunburst stretch floss. Like Spanflex. I'm just going to take a piece. I'm going to wrap it around the thread. I'm going to have it on the bottom. Sometimes it's easier if you turn the vise upside down, and you can just drop it where you want it. So I'm going to hold that up, stretching it as I pull it back, and then take the thread back up to the eye, and that will trap it. I mean, you can do it. You can do it holding it underneath and coming back like that. I've always found it easier just to spin the vise upside down and do it on top. Now we're going to add some dubbing. Now the dubbing, nothing fancy. This is literally my my peacock herl substitute dubbing. But you can use anything. I've got some glister here in peacock black. That'll be a good one to use. I'm just going to use this one because I like this dubbing. We don't need a lot. We don't need a lot. We're just going to dub it on. I mean, it's a very easy fly to tie this. I know I always say that, don't I? But this one really is. We're going to come round and we're just going to build up a nice little thorax with this dubbing. Stretch out the dubbing if you need to. Happy with that. Take off what you don't need. I'm just going to run my thread through the dubbing, and then I'm going to pull back the wool, which is going to be our breathers, and I'm jump the thread to the front. And now I'm going to take, sorry my hands are in the way, the span flex in front of the wool. I'm going to catch it a couple of turns and just see how everything's looking. Okay, so before I do anything, I'm going to come in with a needle. I'm going to try and do this so you can see it. Come in with a needle and just move that span flex around just like you've seen me do. Just so I can get it where I want it. Happy with that? I'm going to tighten the thread down. Put it back out the way. A few wraps in front, and then we just stretch it and trim it. Stretch it and trim it. Whoopsie daisy, come here. Reinforce your wax. Pull the wool out the way. Now you can see the advantage of keeping the wool long, and then I'm just going to build up a nice little head, and there we go. So as usual for varnishing, we're going to come straight in, bit of varnish on the thread, get your whip finish tool, come in, there we go, put it all nice and tight, in with your scissors, trim. Now, the wool, I literally pull it straight in front. I rest my hooks, rest my scissors against the hook eye. You can see that there, and trim. And it gives me that measure, and then just give it a tap. And there's your breathers. The only other thing I do is come in with a little Sharpie and just the back end or the back half of the span flex. I'm just going to give a little red highlight. You can come in if you wish with a little brush and brush some of the dubbing out to give you some legs, but you know, I'm never too fussy with these things. And there we have it. There is an early season midge. Great fly for this time of year. Nice and quick to tie. Nice and simple. Hope you enjoyed watching that one. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you have, I really appreciate your subscription. Please hit that like button if you've enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.